Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess with a huge secret, one that no one could guess. The secret was the location of a birthmark on her body. The king, eager to find a worthy suitor for his daughter, announced to the world that whoever could guess where the princess's birthmark was located would win her hand in marriage. When a young man heard this news, he asked his father to go to the market and buy the most expensive horse and a fine set of clothes for him. He insisted that nothing cheap would do, only the best. Soon, princes and dukes from all over the world arrived at the palace, but none could guess the location of the princess's birthmark. Only the prince and the young man succeeded. However, the princess could only marry one of them. Every day, the young man would take his flute and lead 3 little pigs to graze near the princess's tower. When he played the flute, the pigs would dance, much to the princess's delight. She grew so fond of the dancing pigs that she wanted to buy one, but the young man refused, no matter how much gold she offered. He said he would only give her a pig if she lifted her skirt to her knees. Confused, the princess wondered why he would prefer that over a bag of gold. The young man shook his head, he didn't need gold. Reluctantly, the princess agreed, and he gave her one of the pigs. The next day, the young man returned with the pigs. The princess, still enchanted, asked for another dancing pig. Again, the young man refused gold, saying he would only give her a pig if she lifted her skirt to her waist. After some hesitation, the princess complied, and he handed her the second pig. On the third day, the young man came back once more. The princess was waiting for him, curious why the 2 pigs she had received no longer danced. The young man explained that if she lifted her skirt to her neck, he would give her the last pig and teach her how to make them dance. Without thinking, the princess did as he asked. The young man gave her the final pig and told her that only by playing the flute could she make them dance. The following day, the young man arrived at the palace gates and asked to see the princess. Fearing he might reveal her secret or take back the pigs, the princess ordered the guards to give him a large bag of gold and send him away. The young man returned home, and his family lived in prosperity from that day on. 10 years later, the princess came of age, and the king announced that whoever married her would inherit the throne. The young man, now a grown man, rode to the palace. Along the way, he met 2 travelers who, during the night, tried to steal his horse by leading it into a lake. But the young man was not asleep. After they fell asleep, he quietly took out a dagger, skinned the legs of their horses, and rolled the skin up to their knees. The next morning, the travelers mocked him, saying his horse had run into the lake. The young man laughed and replied, "Look, your horses have rolled up their pants. They're about to go rescue my horse." At the palace, princes and nobles from around the world gathered, but none could guess the location of the princess's birthmark. The prince and the young man stepped forward. The young man correctly guessed that the birthmark was on her waist. The king nodded in approval, but the prince quickly claimed he was about to say the same thing. The young man then revealed 2 more birthmarks on her chest, and again, the prince insisted he was about to say that too. The king and his advisors debated who should marry the princess. Finally, one advisor suggested that the 3 of them, the princess, the prince, and the young man, share a bed, and whoever the princess faced in the morning would be her husband. That night, as they lay in bed, the young man pulled out some candy and began eating. The prince, curious, asked what he was eating. The young man replied, "Shoe soles. Want to try?" The prince, eager to impress the princess, offered her a piece of his own shoe sole. The princess, unable to bite into it, grew frustrated and kicked the prince off the bed. She then turned to the young man, who shared his candy with her. The next morning, everyone found the princess and the young man sleeping side by side. The king, true to his word, granted the young man the throne, and the 2 were married in a grand celebration. The entire kingdom rejoiced, and they lived happily ever after.